Throughout history, there have been stories that blur the lines between reality and the supernatural. Tonight, we delve into 3 chilling tales that have left an indelible mark on those involved. These are not mere ghost stories. They are real-life accounts that challenge our understanding of the paranormal. Our first tale takes us to Indianapolis. The Ammons haunting case, also known as the Demon House, is one of the most infamous paranormal incidents in recent American history. It revolves around the terrifying experiences of Latoya Ammons and her family, who, in 2011, claimed to have encountered an array of supernatural occurrences in their modest home at 3860 Carolina Street in Gary, Indiana. The case involved alleged demonic possession, ghostly apparitions, and physical assaults by invisible forces. What makes this case particularly eerie is not just the haunting claims, but the involvement of law enforcement, medical professionals, and social workers, some of whom reportedly witnessed paranormal activity firsthand. Latoya Ammons, along with her 3 children and her mother, Rosa Campbell, moved into the Carolina Street home in late 2011. According to their accounts, it didn't take long before strange and frightening occurrences began. Initially, there were small disturbances, the sound of footsteps in the basement, doors creaking open on their own, and unexplained cold drafts throughout the house. However, these mild experiences quickly escalated into a terrifying ordeal.
We would lock the basement door, and you would hear something hit the door. Boom! And you would hear dogs barking. No dogs outside. No dogs. We would go look. No dogs.
Latoya and her family reported seeing shadowy figures, hearing disembodied voices, and finding strange oily substances on the walls and floors. Worse yet, the children began behaving in disturbing ways. Latoya's youngest son was seen levitating above his bed, while her daughter spoke to invisible entities, describing them as evil spirits. One of the most alarming aspects of the Ammons haunting case was the belief that the house was not just haunted, but that Latoya's children were possessed by demonic entities. The family claimed that the children were tormented by an overwhelming force that took control of their bodies and minds. According to a police report and interviews with family members, the children exhibited superhuman strength, spoke in deep, guttural voices, and displayed violent behavior.
This boy was in one of the emergency room areas. He was kind of growling, and his grandmother was holding his hands and trying to coax him back.
The most infamous incident occurred in January 2012, when the Department of Child Services, DCS, was called to investigate concerns of neglect after Latoya's children missed several days of school.
And I told my daughter, I said, they're going to make it look like we are hurting these children. So we're going to have to get some help some kind of place, some kind of way. We got to convince somebody that this is actually going on.
During a meeting with DCS officials at a local hospital, one of Latoya's sons was said to have walked backward up a wall in front of multiple witnesses, including a nurse and a DCS caseworker. The professionals present were reportedly horrified, leading to the children being temporarily removed from the home.
And toward the wall, and then he started to walk up the wall backwards, did a flip over her head, and then there was the psychologist and the social service worker.
What makes the Ammons case stand out is the involvement of credible professionals who were witnesses to the strange occurrences. Police officers, child services workers, and hospital staff all reported seeing or experiencing unexplainable phenomena. Captain Charles Austin, a Gary Police Department officer, initially skeptical, later confessed that after visiting the home, he believed something evil was present. He claimed to have experienced strange electrical issues with his car and even captured mysterious audio recordings inside the house.
Latoya took me inside the house and showed me different stuff. I didn't see anything that was relevant to what she said, even though other people did. So I was very skeptical. I just figured she owed me money and this is a fabricated story. And that's not strange to my walk of life. That does happen, you know. Like I said, I thought I heard it all. This is a new one to me.
Doctors who examined the children believed they were not suffering from any known medical or psychological condition that could explain their behavior. A clinical psychologist who evaluated the children said that the events they described were unlike any psychotic episode he had ever encountered. Multiple medical personnel, after treating the family, expressed that they had never encountered anything like it. Latoya Ammons sought help from both spiritual and medical professionals. Her local church connected her with Father Michael Maginot, a priest from the Diocese of Gary, who eventually performed multiple exorcisms on her and the children. Father Maginot claimed that during these rituals, Latoya exhibited classic signs of possession, including speaking in languages she had never learned and reacting violently to religious objects. The exorcisms were performed both in English and Latin, and Father Maginot reported that they were incredibly intense. The rituals culminated in what he described as a successful removal of the demonic presence from Latoya and her children.
Factor follow-up segment tonight. Last night, we told you about a 9-year-old Indiana boy who apparently was doing some very shocking things, so much so that exorcism was involved. The Indianapolis Star, that state's biggest newspaper, is heavily covering the story, and a captain in the Gary, Indiana Police Force, Charles Austin, says the situation is credible.
After the exorcisms and the family's eventual move from the home, reports of paranormal activity ceased. The house remained a point of fascination for paranormal investigators and skeptics alike. In 2014, famed paranormal investigator Zach Bagans purchased the home, hoping to uncover more evidence of its haunting. He later claimed that the house was so dangerous that he had it demolished in 2016, believing it was a hub for demonic activity.
Kind of interesting is that my stomach growls whenever you make a command. When you're not saying anything, nothing happens.
My stomach too.
Okay.
Hold on. I just felt like there was something inside of my stomach.
Yeah, no, that's
Despite the widespread media attention, many skeptics argue that the case was a combination of psychological issues, family trauma, and environmental factors. They point to the lack of verifiable evidence and suggest that the intense media coverage may have influenced the perceptions of those involved. However, for those who lived through the ordeal, the events of the Ammons haunting were undeniably real. Latoya Ammons maintains that her family was terrorized by forces beyond this world, and the professionals who witnessed the events continue to support her claims. The Ammons haunting case is both a chilling and perplexing tale. Whether one views it as a genuine case of possession or an elaborate psychological drama, it remains a deeply disturbing story that challenges our understanding of the supernatural. The involvement of credible witnesses and the subsequent media attention have cemented this case as one of the most controversial and terrifying in modern paranormal lore. Next, we travel to Los Angeles, where the infamous Cecil Hotel became the backdrop for a tragic mystery. In January 2013, Elisa Lamb, a vibrant young woman, checked into the hotel, seeking adventure. But within days, she vanished without a trace. After an intense investigation, her body was discovered in the hotel's rooftop water tank, sparking a wave of media coverage, countless theories, and enduring fascination. What makes this case particularly chilling is not just Lamb's tragic fate, but the bizarre, inexplicable behavior she exhibited before her disappearance, as captured by hotel security footage. This footage, combined with the strange circumstances surrounding her death, has left many questioning if paranormal forces were at play. Before examining Elisa's story, it's essential to understand the setting. The Cecil Hotel, built in the 1920s, was once a symbol of glamour, catering to tourists and business travelers. However, by the 1970s, the hotel had declined into a hub for crime, attracting transients, criminals, and individuals down on their luck. It became infamous for numerous suicides, murders, and unexplained deaths, including the stay of notorious serial killer Richard Ramirez, known as the Night Stalker, who reportedly stayed there in 1985. For decades, the Cecil developed a reputation as a place of death and despair. Some claim its history has embedded a dark energy into the building, making it a magnet for tragedy. By the time Elisa Lamb arrived in 2013, the Cecil's name had become synonymous with the macabre. Elisa Lamb arrived in Los Angeles on January 26, 2013, during a solo trip through California. She checked into the Cecil and was assigned a shared room, but was later moved to a private room after her roommates reported unusual behavior. On January 31st, the day she was scheduled to check out, Elisa vanished. Her family, alarmed by the lack of contact, filed a missing persons report. The Los Angeles Police Department launched an investigation, but Elisa's whereabouts remained unknown for nearly 3 weeks. Then, the police released a security tape from one of the Cecil's elevators, capturing the last known sighting of Elisa. The footage, lasting roughly 4 minutes, shows her acting in a manner that many have described as eerie and unsettling. She enters the elevator, presses multiple buttons, and stands to the side, as if hiding from something. She peeks out into the hallway, appears to speak to someone unseen, makes bizarre hand gestures, and eventually steps out of the frame. Her behavior is erratic, suggesting a possible psychotic episode, but others have interpreted her actions as indicative of something supernatural or malevolent. The video quickly went viral, fueling speculation about her mental state and whether she had encountered an unseen entity in the hallway. Weeks passed with no sign of Elisa, until guests at the Cecil began complaining about the water's taste, color, and pressure. On February 19th, a hotel maintenance worker checked the rooftop water tanks and discovered Elisa's decomposing body inside one of the tanks. The discovery raised numerous questions. The tanks were tall, difficult to access, and heavy to open. How Elisa, alone and without access to the roof, ended up in one remains a mystery. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office ruled Elisa's death an accidental drowning, with her bipolar disorder cited as a contributing factor. Toxicology tests revealed no evidence of drugs or alcohol that could have influenced her behavior. However, the lack of concrete explanations left room for speculation, and a host of theories quickly emerged. One theory suggests that Elisa's erratic actions in the elevator stemmed from a psychotic break related to her bipolar disorder. Friends and family indicated that she sometimes failed to take her medication consistently, which could lead to hallucinations and erratic behavior. This explanation aligns with the elevator footage and the idea that she may have entered the tank in a disoriented state. Others suspect that Elisa was the victim of foul play. They argue that even if she experienced a psychotic episode, accessing the water tank without assistance would have been nearly impossible. Theories range from an unknown attacker to hotel staff who may have had access to restricted areas. Due to the hotel's dark history, many paranormal enthusiasts believe that Elisa's death was influenced by supernatural forces. Some claimed that her unusual gestures and movements suggest she was interacting with an unseen entity. The connection to the Cecil's legacy of tragedy and despair, combined with the unexplained elements of the case, led to speculation that she might have fallen victim to a dark force haunting the hotel. Some internet sleuths have suggested that Elisa was playing a supernatural ritual called the elevator game, a Korean urban legend that allegedly transports participants to another dimension. According to this theory, she was attempting to follow the ritual's steps and became trapped between worlds, never to return. While far-fetched, this theory captured the imaginations of many who found Elisa's actions on the footage unsettlingly similar to the game's rules. Death continues to haunt both investigators and the public. The unanswered questions and unsettling elevator footage have kept the case alive in popular culture, inspiring documentaries, articles, and discussions across the internet. In 2021, Netflix released the series crime scene, The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel, exploring Elisa's death and examining the hotel's dark legacy. Though many have analyzed the case, the truth behind what happened to Elisa Lam remains an enigma. Her story has become part of the Cecil Hotel's eerie lore, adding yet another layer to its reputation as a place where darkness lingers. Whether Elisa's tragic end was the result of mental illness, foul play, or something unexplainable, her story continues to resonate as a chilling reminder of the mystery that can lurk in the everyday. And honestly, if this case has you as intrigued as it has me, there's a wealth of material we could explore further. The oddities and inconsistencies just beg for a closer look. I could easily dive into gathering more evidence, uncovering contradictions, dissecting facts from the case files, and analyzing additional documents, all of which could fill an entire video dedicated to peeling back every. So, if you'd be interested in a more in-depth investigation, let me know. There's certainly a lot left to uncover in this mysterious. The Elsa doll story is an unsettling modern urban legend that blends the innocence of childhood toys with the eeriness of the unexplained. In December 2013, Emily Madonia of Houston, Texas, bought her daughter a Disney Frozen Elsa doll as a Christmas gift. Little did they know that this seemingly harmless toy would soon become a haunting part of their lives. Emily's daughter, Aurelia, adored Elsa, and the doll quickly became one of her favorites. The toy, manufactured by Disney, was designed to sing the iconic Let It Go theme from the movie Frozen with the push of a button. Initially, the doll only sang in English, as expected. But as time passed, the family began to notice strange things about it. In 2015, 2 years after they first brought Elsa home, the doll started speaking Spanish randomly without being set to do so. The switch to Spanish was unprompted and couldn't be explained by any feature in the doll's manual. Strangely, the toy would often begin singing on its own, even without anyone pressing the button. Despite attempts to understand the switch in languages, the family couldn't figure out why it seemed to have a mind of its own.
Ojalá jugáramos en la nieve todo el tiempo. Hacer magia con nieve juntas es muy divertido. A mi hermana Ana y a mí nos gusta jugar en la nieve dentro del castillo.
The incidents escalated further in 2019 when the family decided to throw the doll away. After multiple battery replacements and failed attempts to fix the language switch, Emily and her husband, Matt, decided it was time to get rid of the doll once and for all. They threw it in the trash bin, only to find it inexplicably returned to their home a few days later. When the doll reappeared, they found it lying on a bench inside their house as if it had never left. This time, they became truly alarmed, wondering if the doll was cursed or possessed by a spirit. Determined to rid themselves of Elsa, they tried again, this time by double-bagging her and placing her deep in the garbage outside. But the doll reappeared once more. Desperate, Matt mailed the doll to a friend in Minnesota, who wrapped it in multiple bags and securely taped it inside a box, intending to hide it somewhere where it couldn't return. As far as reports go, the doll has not returned to the Madonia home since this final mailing, leaving the family with questions, and more than a few nightmares. Theories behind the curse. Mechanical glitches and batteries. Some believe that a technical malfunction could explain the doll's behavior. Batteries sometimes cause toys to malfunction, especially after years of use. But this doesn't explain how the doll kept reappearing at their home after being disposed of multiple times. Family prank. Another popular theory is that one of the family members, perhaps for a laugh or scare, could have been placing the doll back in the house. However, both Matt and Emily have denied this possibility, and neither one believes anyone else in the family would go to such lengths over several years. Supernatural influence. The most unsettling theory is that the Elsa doll became the vessel for something malevolent, whether by a spirit or through a paranormal influence. The behavior aligns with classic haunted object tales, where seemingly innocent objects are said to attract supernatural entities. Haunted dolls have been part of paranormal folklore for centuries, from Robert the Doll to Annabelle. Many people are convinced that the Elsa doll could have been a new, modern iteration of a cursed toy. Conclusion. Though the tale of the Elsa doll remains officially unexplained, the Madonia family's experiences have sparked curiosity and fear among parents and paranormal enthusiasts alike. It's possible that the truth behind this story is simply an unlikely series of technical issues combined with human error, or maybe, just maybe, it's something more. This chilling modern legend blends everyday items with the mysteries of the paranormal, leaving us to wonder what truly happened with the cursed Elsa doll. 3 stories, each filled with fear and the unknown. The Ammons family, Elisa Lamb, and the cursed doll all share a common thread: the shadows that lurk just beyond our understanding. As we close tonight's chapter, remember to look over your shoulder. You never know what might be watching back.